John in Arizona. John in Arizona, you're on the line with Jimmy and Promise. How are you, John?
Hey, how you doing?
Just fine. How old are you, John?
40.
Cool. And John, we've got a live chat here of 1,350 people, and they're champing at the bit to know, would you prefer they refer to you as a he, a she, a they, or something else?
Yeah, this is all kind of strange to me, this pronoun thing, but I guess he.
Thanks. All right, what are you calling in on?
Yeah, this is all my personal opinion, and I guess we can, start there. This pronoun phenomenon, kind of a creation in the last 5-10 years or so, right? It's just very odd to me.
Pretty sure pronouns have been around as long as we've had language, as far as I know.
And there's definitely been, even before people were aware of trans people existing, there's certainly been people making mistakes, and it just being something that the people who the mistakes are being made for just accepted. And so we now know that when it comes to just being polite and being kind, like it actually does help people out. You're fine, right? You answered he, you didn't die. You're fine. Do you have a Bible with you, by the way?
No, I don't. I'm an ally of Christianity, but I'm not
Do you know which version of the Bible you prefer?
Which version?
Yeah.
My father was raised
I'm really confused because you just said you're an ally of Christianity, but you're not a Christian. So do you believe that Christianity is true or not?
Like in the sense that Jesus rose from the grave and these types of things. No, I don't believe that.
Then why would you be an ally of Christianity? That is bizarre.
Because Christianity, along with the Enlightenment, along with the ancient Greeks, these are the pillars of Western civilization. And I think Western civilization.
The Enlightenment helped us get rid of a lot of the problems that Christianity was causing. So I don't understand why you would want to be an ally of something that you don't believe is true. Do you care if things are true or not?
Yeah, I mean, in my own personal life, Christians made me a better man. And again, on a macro level, you see what's happened is that, and Nietzsche talked about this about 150 years ago. He said that with the loss of Christianity, something fills the void, right? And on the political left, your religion is CRT and queer theory. It has to do with postmodernism.
What are you?
Hey, John, John, chill, dude. You're like trying to gish gallop in, and you just got to take a chill pill for a second. John, what is the definition of a religion?
Oh, a belief system that guides moral behavior and ethics, and usually involves the belief in some type of afterlife, would be my basic definition.
Okay, you're kind of close because you added the thing. Yeah, it is a system of beliefs. Usually it has to do with, but religion is specifically beliefs surrounding like the supernatural, God, your system of worship. So when you say our religion is CRT and queer theory, that's not correct. And in fact, in a way, you are acknowledging by using it that way that religion is a bad thing. But you're just trying to say, and you guys are bad too, because you have theory. But CRT and queer theory, neither of which are religions. If you want to attack those as problems, you're going to have to tell me what factually, first of all, what you think queer theory is and what the CRT is, because I bet it isn't what people who actually do accept those things are. And what are factually incorrect about them, because all I give a shit about is truth. I am a secular humanist. That's not technically a religion because there's no worship, but I wouldn't have been as offended if you mistook that for a religion. And I care about that which is factually true.
Okay. The reason I say it's you believe like these things with dogma, like cultish strength and belief. That's why I say it's like a religion to you all.
And you're incorrect. Dogma-like belief does not allow factual challenges. And I've just invited you to factually challenge them. Not only do they not invite factually challenges, they get updated by factual challenge because they are held in a very tangential way to the way I hold scientific positions to be true. They need to be adequately defended and shown that they are willing to adapt when new, better information comes out.
Yeah, these are topics that I myself changed my mind on when presented with better information. It's not a dogma.
It's you. I mean, I'm assuming you're familiar. I'll define CRT and queer theory if you'd like. But are you familiar with like postmodernism and the Frankfurt School? This is why I think college is a big part of the problem.
I've heard all of Jordan Peterson's thoughts on them, and I'm sure we're talking about the same shit.
Well, I mean, the Frankfurt School was a political ideology that came out of Germany in the 1930s, right? The major figures of this would be like Herbert Marcuse.
I don't want to lesson on all of this. Can we stick to where you define CRT? No, nope. I'm sorry. Can you please define CRT if you want to start there, or you can do queer theory, whichever you want. Can you define those? Tell us why you think we should be for, against, what position you think should be held about those things. But first, we need you to define it so we know if you know what you're talking about.
Right. So CRT theory is a legal approach exploring systematic racism. It's basically anti-whiteness, right? We can call it.
But you just say wait.
You got to stop saying right, because
definition.
We're not agreeing with you.
Your first definition was right, and then you switched it to it's basically something else, and it's not. It's not basically that. It's what you were saying at first. It is a legal approach to basically detecting where systemic oppression, systemic racism is still affecting the systems, as has continued since the inception of this country, tracing back to things that are early and things that are more recent, because the more recent anti-Arab and Muslim immigrant rhetoric has more modern origins. And literally it is the exploration of those things. It has nothing to do with anti-white.
Do you know what CRT stands for? Because you just said CRT theory.
Critical race theory.
Yeah, but you said CRT theory, so that's why I was confused. So good.
Critical race theory. I liked it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So look, we can say something similar, woke or DEI. It's basically the villainization of whiteness is the opiate of the left, you see, because, and this is why I was trying to explain.
No, I don't see.
John, please stop preaching. We're actually trying to have it. Can I mute him for a second and give him the rundown on this? This is driving me crazy.
I just don't get why he can't stay on topic and stick to where he is.
Exactly.
And he needs to keep throwing out buzz phrases like Jordan Peterson is paying him $5 every time he quotes something new.
John, I'll unmute you in just a second, but I feel like you're calling in because you want to give a talk and regurgitate these things that you've heard somebody else say, but we're trying to talk to you, with you, and have a conversation. So if you can respond to what Jimmy just said instead of going off on your thing, that would be helpful. Because otherwise, it's like you're just giving a speech, Jimmy's making a good point, and then you're talking about something else. So
right, you're gish galloping for the sake of the people who like you, and because you want a group of people who already agree with you to be like, hell yeah, man, you said all the buzzwords. Hell yeah, you spoke truth to power. You will change nobody's mind with this. Even the people who are teetering, you're literally just trying to like chain buzzwords together. Stick to a topic and we'll explore it. Do you still have him muted?
I think so.
No.
I'm just trying.
Oh, he was talking. So I don't know if he was even listening.
We'll find out.
I'm here.
Great. What is a tenet of critical race theory that is incorrect?
Well, like I said. I mean, it's villainizing whiteness for all the problems of
John.
Of
what is a specific tenet? What is a specific tenet of CRT that is incorrect?
A specific tenet of CRT.
Can you name a single tenet of CRT?
No, I was just giving you if you want a full definition, I can pull it up for you.
No, I'm not asking for a full definition. Do you know what, I can name you multiple tenets if you need.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would guess one would be that the criminal justice system is unfairly biased against black men. Would that be fair to say?
I would say that is an example of one of the tenets. I don't know if maybe you don't know what the word tenet means. I don't know.
No, I would assume you just mean pillars or ideas or is that right? Yeah, you can.
I mean tenets.
Read me what you think they are if you want.
I don't need to read them to you. I know what they are because I'm a person who's actually well versed in critical race theory. Race.
You're the one that brought these things up, so we're seeing if you even know what you brought up.
So I would say the very first core tenet of critical race theory is that race is a social construct and it is reinforced by society. So you don't believe that race is a social construct. Great. John, I like this because here we are, and I'm going to be a little bit sensational, and then I'm going to let you, if you have to be sensational, respond. Here's what I know having dealt with people like you. Saying race isn't socially, that's nonsense. That it isn't a social construct, that it isn't reinforced by society, that it isn't a thing that people are recognizing is beyond just arbitrary differences, just means that you are calling in. All you had to say was that, and now I know you're calling in, trying to use philosophy speak, trying to sound very sophisticated, but you're going to end up just revealing you're racist. You're a racist person who think that there are differences amongst the races that are biologically inherent that makes one of them better than the other. Am I incorrect?
Well, I wouldn't say better than the other. I would just simply say that, look, if I do a DNA test, they're going to tell me my ethnicity. They're going to tell me that and ethnicity is just a cluster of race, right? My ethnicity, I'm Irish, I'm German, I'm Romanian, I'm these different things, right? It's not socially constructed. You believe in evolution, don't you?
Ethnicity and race are completely different things. Ethnicity and race are not the same thing. And what you are describing, the way they are tracking you through, is based on the fact that there are certain genetic markers of regions, of land where people were congregating for a long period of time. And so different ethnicities also have blends of different races of people, as different races have been there for a longer period of time. And we'll see this much more in the future because traditionally, thanks to racism, people have been racially separated. The blends in the future will be even more significant, and yet we won't lose the ability to track like, hey, with this DNA blend, your people who would have been of multiple races before that were from roughly this geographic region. And so saying that like the DNA is proving you're describing that your people were in Ireland, not that that there are no arbitrary, or rather not that it is untrue that a difference between a person from Ireland and a person from China as a human are arbitrary.
Well, right, but we can just look at somebody from Ireland and tell they're not Chinese, right? Or can you?
No. You definitely cannot tell that they're not Chinese specifically. There will be Irish people who you will be able to read their DNA and go, hey, you and your family are from Ireland. And you're also going to be able to see, and at some point, China. Because as Chinese people have bred with Irish people and stayed in Ireland, they're still going to trace their roots to Ireland. But their roots will go beyond further, as do your roots go beyond further.
John, in what ways do you think that race is relevant?
Well, I think it's relevant because the political left, well, I'll give you an example, okay? The political left there's certain statistics out there, right? Like black men.
I'm not talking about the topic of race, John. I'm saying, in what ways does it matter to you what race somebody is? I
think he might have been about to do the 1350 argument, like he's not a racist.
Oh boy.
Well, I was trying to explain and you interrupted me, but it's relevant because, as I was saying, the political left will say that all of these, the desire of equity, where all of these inequalities, right, where black men are about 7% of the U.S. population, but the murders are about 60%.
I told you guys, what did I just said he's going to do it. And then he decided to do, instead of saying not doing 13, because that would include the women, just do specifically. Like I called the shot before he did it. John, you're just a racist with a thesaurus.
Well, but you see, it has to do.
Hey, what? how does them being?
You want to cut me off?
No, John. I don't care whether you talk or not. I don't care if you now feel embraced by this. You've exposed yourself as just a fucking blatant racist. John, do they represent that crime, that level of crime, because they are black, or because of what society has done to black people?
It has to do with, there is an environmental and genetic component that on average.
I'm sorry, this is not. Why are you trying? So you're IQ, saying, wait. Genetic component. You are saying that there is a genetic reason why they commit more crime than white people, for example.
Yeah, would you like me to explain it without cutting me
No,
off?
I don't, John, because you're fucking full of shit and you're wrong. You're just a blatant racist. You're a blatant racist because you're sitting here pretending that you understand these things, you know these things. You couldn't name a single tenet of critical race theory. You can't prove any of them are factually wrong. And then you're saying there's a genetic reason why black people commit more crime than white people, that it's not a societal thing, that it doesn't have to do with the two key indicators, which is proximity and poverty, that it doesn't have to do that there's a genetic component to it. And John, you're fucking just, no, I don't, when I'm calling in to talk to good faith MAGA people and say, MAGA, call in, it's not to go like and tell us what the Grand Wizard thinks this week using your fucking your special thinking, your philosophy
but
talk. I have no interest in blatant fucking racist. You're just a fucking piece of shit racist. You know who you should call in and talk to, John? I'd like you to call in and talk to Javon directly. He is back on tomorrow night at 8:30, and then he's back on next Sunday. And Javon is a black man, and I don't think you will be able to show any sort of superiority, certainly not intellectual, over Javon. I think you're going to look like a piece of shit because you already look like a piece of shit. I have no interest in this when you're sitting here and you're going, there's an environment component, there's a genetic component, and you're not going to bring up the poverty component, the proximity component, the continued system that has started since slavery that goes through now today. And you don't, apparently it's not important for you to list in there the difference in policing, the difference in incarceration for the same crimes. Like, you don't interest me, John. You're just a blatant racist who has learned philosophy speak. That's uninteresting to me completely.
Let me talk.
There you go, John. Now you can talk. That beep means you can talk. I don't think you were listening, but that beep means you can talk again.
Okay. All right. What I was trying to say is that on average, black people have an average IQ of 85, and there's also, in black men, there's higher average serum testosterone levels. So these two things combined are going to have a higher propensity toward criminality, right? But there's also an environmental component too, and cultural. I acknowledge that.
What are those components? Since we've gotten past your stupid, they have a lower IQ, they have a lower, as though those systems don't change based on access to education, that you think that there is actually a way to measure intelligence that isn't affected by access to education, that IQ is actually a legitimate marker, which is, by the way, a thing racists always want to accept. Which environmental things do you think exists?
Oh, I'd say, nutrition, proper nutrition in childhood, good prenatal care.
Mm-hmm. Why don't they have access to better nutrition and good prenatal care?
Because they have a lower income on average. But
why do they have a lower income on average? Why do they have a lower income on average? Why do they have a lower? Yeah.
Well, part of this is lower IQ. See, because Ashkenazi Jewish people and Asian.
Yeah. John, you're just a fucking piece of shit racist. Like, I don't know what to tell you here, man.
Fuck you.
Like, literally, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Were you the guy who called in and spammed the N-word earlier? Because I feel like you're barely not giving it away now.
It has to be the same.
Literally, we have already, with these silly IQ studies that have gone out, they've already gone out and shown that it literally correlates to access, that you are going to get better IQ scores from people who have better IQ. Yes, I know you, the racist, are going to call bullshit on it.
Yeah, that's not how. Please go learn about IQ, because you keep bringing it up like it's something that's relevant.
Literally, as soon as you equalize access, the differences
right,
go
and the
away.
ways that it's relevant, it actually ends up being a problem for his argument. So
yep.
This is embarrassing on it's like he went and watched a bunch of stuff, learned the words, but has no idea what any of them mean other than he thinks he can use them to defend his bigotry. It's disgusting.
And by the way, as soon as you switch off of IQ, which the only thing an IQ test can possibly measure is how good you are at taking IQ tests. And it can imply that there are people who is going to have some amount of performance. Certainly with the outliers, you're going to see the people who are more capable at taking IQ tests because their IQ is higher. However, most people are going to get lost in it. It's also why IQ test scores, if people subsequently keep taking IQ tests, they change and they can get better because they can get better at knowing how to take IQ tests. Like literally, as soon as you make it about scanning the brain and the ability of neurons to fire and make new pathways, neuroplasticity and the like, then it becomes entirely environmental factors, like he was mentioning, poor prenatal care, poor nutrition. Those types of things can affect it. And there's a reason why that disproportionately affects Black people, because of the system in place that has kept them in poverty. So even by his own fucking admission, poverty would be, because it's going to be associated, prenatal care will be poorer, nutrition will be poor. So if you are already in poverty, your chances of those advantages of that higher IQ, there's nothing you'd be able to do about it. So here's going to be the question for taking John, the very obvious and blatant racist, off of hold. If he acknowledges that the environmental issues of poor prenatal care and poor nutrition would prevent a person from having certain biological advantages and their brain from operating as well as it could, what solution would there be? If the people are already the victims of it, what solution does he have for it? Go ahead, John. Totally not a blatant racist.
Yeah, I would just use the example of North and South Korea. So yeah, these things.
So you're not going to answer my question at all?
Well, no, I'm trying to answer you.
What was my question? What was my question? What was my question, John, that you're trying to answer?
What are the factors, like the prenatal care and yeah, how do I remedy that? Was that your question?
You don't know. No. You're having to ask. You're literally not. You don't actually know what it is, because right now you're going, oh fuck, he's calling me out. I'm going to do that memory. I'm going to use my short-term memory and just remember certain key words he said and try to put it together. And you have done so poorly.
No, you were talking about prenatal care.
Yes, those are words I said. I did say prenatal care. Mm-hmm. You're right. I said those words.
He asked a very specific question that you clearly don't know what it was because you were talking.
If a person is getting poor nutrition, if a person is born into poverty, if a person is born into poverty and as a result of poverty, they have poor nutrition and poor prenatal care, what is the remedy society takes for that?
Try and get them better.
How would they do that?
Nutrition and prenatal care, but it's not.
And how would we do that?
The reason I'm trying to talk about.
How would they do that?
Better access to resources would be that, but it's not. It's
like
not
what?
As significant, and this is why I'm trying to tell you. You keep.
What do you mean it's not? It's not as significant as what? No, I'm not cutting you off. You're trying to leave the question. You're desperately trying to not answer it and say as little as possible. Go. And anyway, I want to go back to my North Korea and South Korea point. I want to go back over there.
Because that. But the reason I'm saying that is because North.
See, literally, the moment I just say North Korea, South Korea, he goes, "Oop!" He said the words. Therefore, I'm allowed to go make that point instead of saying on topic. John, fuck off. I don't give a fuck about you. I wasn't so desperate to keep Andrew on the line without getting paid to do so. And at this point, I'm not so desperate to hear a white supremacist new version of, here's our new presentations. You're fucking wrong. IQ tests are not accurate. They tested ability for a person's to take IQ tests. The scores do match environmental issues. You are right that environmental issues can take an effect on people. And in fact, you will be more disadvantaged in many ways if you are born into poverty because of access to poor nutrition and poor prenatal care. And we should remedy those things. And when you remedy those things, the problems go away. John. Oh, also, I'm being informed you already got destroyed by, you called an actual PhD. Dr. Blitz already destroyed you. Why are you repeating it? That's my question for John. John, when you already got wrecked by Dr. Blitz, why come on and try again? Were you thinking since I'm not a PhD, maybe you have a shot for your bullshit to go past?
Oh, I don't think I got wrecked by Dr. Blitz.
I'm sure you don't. Goodbye, racist.
I'm talking.
That wasn't a mute. That was a hang up. Nobody gives a fuck.